let's say Shabbat. Let's come over here now on page Resh Base, and we'll read the top. And it says, V'amnan, Atar Heim Omdos B'Yisod Zer Anpin. Until this time, they're standing, these Yisodo, these Gevuros are in the Yisod Zer Anpin, and B'Sham Nem Shechav V'Ditenet B'Das, Shabbat that is given into her Das. So therefore, when you say the word Baruch, the magic word Baruch, this is actually this dot, Shalamalchus Nikras Baruch, which is called Baruch. Because so let's see what number test says. We'll read the light print since we read the dark print already. He says, Malchus Nikras Baruch. So Malchus is also called by the name Baruch. We've learned that Yesod is called Baruch. Here we call the Malchus is called Baruch. Nimses Behechel Kodekedash Debria. Lachasha Kavar Saim Bechala'alos is called Shlosha Olomos Bia. So you're up at the very tremendous progression that is like a I'm trying to figure out the word, like a whole following of schlusim, going up all the way to the top. So all of this, going through all of the hechelos of all of the different worlds. And it takes all the shefa that comes in those places. The birkon, so therefore it's kind of multiplicity of brachos, koloma riboy brachos. And betam b'sechet nikras baruch, and this is the reason why, because all of the brachos that came as a result of going upwards are still with malchus. V'chein shefa hadas nikra baruch, also the shefa of das is also called baruch. Kasher yivur l'cholon barichos, we're going to get into that a lot more. So we're getting into the idea of how he wants to go through something. Maybe we know this a little bit. So if you concentrate just on the shefa, they're coming for das, then you'll only in other words, if your kavanah is that, I think he's saying, then you're going to only be arousing the shefa that comes to the yisod, the zer anpin. And he says, okay, well, now we lost Rebbe now. So I had my problems, so here we're waiting for Rebbe to come back. Mitzvah Hashem. Okay, we're back over here. So it says, Im tekave b'tevis baruch rak al shefa hadas. If you only think of it as what's coming out of das, let's go. The shefa hadas yisorder rak al shefa b'yisod zer anpin. That will only refer to the shefa that's coming from the yisod zer anpin. Aklo yuchul leredes the malchus on themselves bebria, but it can't get any further down if that's what you're thinking about. L'chein sarch l'kavet b'tevis baruch gam al malchus atzma shenikras baruch. So both of those name kinds, but this sounds like she's coming up, he's coming down. So therefore, we're getting both of them. V'oz yuchul l'shefa leredes the bria. So then the shuva, when your kavanah is on both of them, that makes an opening for the shefa to be able to flow into bria. V'chein sarach l'kavin gam al yisod shenikra baruch l'chalon. So you could have both of them. He's going to get into that more as we go on. So he said gam v'gam ketama tekaven al yisod zer anpin. So, but listen, don't leave that out. Ki gam ku nikra baruch. So you have baruch coming down and going up. Gam yisod zer anpin nikra baruch. V'nimsa shetevis baruch shebebirchus avos v'ramez al shlosha bechinus elu, are these three bechinus. So he says umisham yeredes haki itra de gevura. So now we have this itra de gevura coming down. Yeredes b'nekuda chazu into this nekuda hanikras baruch and nisker, which is already has the name of baruch. Vayidei kain yeshba das kal, and this is how the das kal comes about. Now let's see what he says here. Because going through those two aspects they're called baruch. Nishba itra the gevuras. This causes the itra the gevur, the heilig of shefa hadas, the gevuras to look hanikra kal. So he said bikal, as we said before, miyasod is their anpen. El malchus nimsas bebria, the malchus which is in bria, so now it flows in there. So originally he says that there are actually three different parts to this. He said it's kuav kal. Now he's described kal, where you're having only that only the gevuros are going into the nukva, and that going into her das. Ki hine b'dechila b'dechila haki itra de gevuros he havaya achat pshuta shehi b'gematria ko. Now he says that in the beginning that this itra de gevur was only one word, that is Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, and which is a gematria of 26. Atem b'farad keitzad meromes shefach hadat b'tevis baruch ki hinecha b'baruch ola b'gematria shlosh shemos. So the word baruch is 228, and it's a combination of these three names, which is Ku, which is Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, Av, which is immediately of Yudin, and Kal, which we just came through, which is 5 Havayas. Ashech Shalosh Dem Ramazim Al Seder Yeridis Shefach Hadas B'Yisod Zer Anpin Adenuk, that the three of them really talk about how the Shefa actually winds up in the Nook. It's like a formula that says how it flows. Hanuk Sheb Nimsas Bebria Ki Tehila Nimsas Chamesh Gevuros B'das the Ima. So originally the Gevuros are in the Das of Ima. Shesham Yeshnam Chamisha Chasadim. So there you're going to find that there are 5 Chasadim. Hanitnam B'Zer Anpin. And Mispashtim B'Chamesh Sfiras Shabo. They go into the Shvira of Zer Anpin. That's how the Chasadim were. B'chein Yesham Chamesh Gevuros Hanitane B'Yisod Dazah. And then there are also the 5 gevuros, which wind up also in the Yisod of Zer Anpin, and they're given over to the Nok. So they actually extend out 5 gevuros. So in other words, they when they go out, they go to 5. And after that, when they come to the Yisod of Zer Anpin, when they get there, let me read this again so I can try to get my train. Which are now in the Yisod of Zer Anpin. And Misham Nitenis Alanuk, and they're going to go there. He said, when they're still inside of Ima, they're called 5 gevuros there. But when they go down to the Yisod of Zer Anpin, they come together. They're only at that point like one gevura. So therefore, when you look at the Yisod, there's only one Havaya there, not 5. And there aren't 5. So that's the secret of the first phase, which is Ku, because now it's sort of like primed and ready to go into the Nook, but at this point it's congealed into just one name, 26. Shuhu Hashlava Rishon Shal Shefach HaGevuros, which is the original stage of how the flow of Gevuros works. And when you find it still in the Yisod of Zer Anpin, when it's put into the Das of the Nekeva, so therefore now you have it going into the Nook, and it's going to become 5 gevuros. So we're going to go from 5 to 1 to 5. So it congeals at the Yisod, and then goes into the Nook, and in the Nook it becomes 526s, which is a gematria of 130, which is Das Kal. Hashpia as a gevura shebesocha the Das the Nook, and so after it comes into the Das of the Nook, Mischaleka Sham Hagavura Lachamisha Gavura, so divides into 5, as he said. Shehem Chamisha Chavayas Shagamatria Kal, 130. Hare Atach Bechinas Ku Kal. So now you have this idea, you have Ku, which turns into to Kal. But we had said originally that the stages of this, the three stages, or he saw the Bechinos. He says the 3 Bechinos also includes the name Av, the Tashlim, the concept, the number Baruch. So in other words, Kuav Kal is Baruch. So he said, and this is an Indian here. He says, "Harein is Hakavanot ku v'kal." So we explained those two. So in other words, it's really five. It really starts out in Das as 5 kavuros, but it congeals down to 1, goes into the nukva, and flowers back out to 5 again. All right, so therefore you have ku, and you have kal. Harein is Hakavanot ku v'kal. V'ata tzarich levacha v'macha Hakavanot av shemashlim as ku v'kal lemis barbarach. So how do we work this out? He said, so after this you should have this kavana. He says, which is what? At this period in which Malchus, because Malchus, as we know, goes through different stages, which is in the stage of just being one Nakuda. Ein ba rak shlosha kavim, she has only three lines. So you have the 3 lines there, and they said, what? In which case, when she's just a dot, she has 3 lines. When she's still in Olam Abriya, Yesh ba nekuda achad belvad, she's only one kaluda hakalula be'esa nekuda. So we said that before, that it has all the 10 nekudos, but they're not a parts, they're just dots. And then this embryonic stage, where the nai is folded on top of the chagat, etc. He's going to maybe explain that over b'mei imo, like an embryo in its mother's womb. The only thing you see about it is the lower part, is its feet or its legs. And its body is folded up inside. And then his head is also folded over in such a way that it's between his knees, or sort of so between his legs. So therefore, if the body is a chabad chagat nai, then all you can see really is the nai, because the nai is folded under the chagat, and the chabad is folded inside of the chagat. His head is folded up in between his knees. It only looks like a third of a body. So then he says Elul Shaar, and he says all of the rest of the Shnei Shlishim Shebegufo Ne'olamim Ve'ena Niglim, they're hidden and they're not revealed. Ki Chabad Shalom, because her Chabad Nechlalas B'Chagat Sheba V'gam Nanai Sheba Nechlalas B'Chagat Shalom. But Matzav Zeh, so when you're in this embryonic stage, Shall Ivor B'Bechidat Tlas Kalila B'Tlas, Nim says a Malchus B'Hiyosa the Mata B'Bria, so we find that Malchus, when it's down below in Olam Abriya, behind the Shechabad Shalom Kalula B'Chagat, that is, again, once again, the full, the Nai Shalom Kalula B'Chagat. Nechshav Ke'ila Yesh Lo Rak Nai, so if you look at it, you would only see the Nai, Bilvad, B'Shachar Sephir Ne'olamos, Ve'ena Niglos Atzla. So all of the rest of the Sephiros are hidden, and they're not revealed over there, because everything's folded up. Now, that's the situation he wants to talk about, and it says like this, V'nimsa She'ein B'Rak Ho Rosh Shlosh Kavim, so all you have really is the light that's shining from the 3 lines. Now, I'm not sure why he says this, and let's say, and the idea that it's in 3 lines is interesting, so he just described them as Chabad Chagat Nai, everything folded up. Only thing you see is the 3 spheros of the 9. So he said, but Pratas Yosef, let's go more seriously. He says, Yesh B'Kol parts of Shlosh Kavim, Yamin small of the Emson, and we know that. L'B'Kol Echad Makavim, okay, we have a little break here. I'll take a drink. Here it goes. Okay, back again. So he said, let's look at the top of the left column. He says, right here, he says, Bepraptos Yoser, Yesh B'Kol parts of Shlosha Kavim, every parts of has 3 Kavim. Yamin, small, Ve'emsa, the right, left, middle. B'Kol Echad Mekavim Elul, and each one of them, Yesh Non Shlosha Spheros, it has 3 Spheros. Akan, Shuhu bebechinas Ivor, but in that stage, yesh b'kol kav rak sfira achas bilvad. But all you can see, I guess he's saying, is one of the sets, one of the threes. So there you see that the chokhmah is covered over by chesed. V'chesed v'kufel al netzach, and chesed is covered over by netzach. V'tzad small mekufelas abina al gevura, sabina is covered over by gevura. V'gevura mekufelas al hod. V'tzad imsoy in the middle, hadas al teferes abas is covered over by teferes. V'teferes mekufel al yisod is covered over by yisod. So he says like this, that even though these 5 gevuros, which are 5 havayos, which are inner das, the hispashet, they're going to actually spread out through the nukva. That is, after she's in Tzilus, it becomes a partzav. Which is from chesed until her hod. The parts of shalom, so she grows into complete parts of shall eses sefirat ba'alos of the tzilus. Umitzad zeh roi the asher yispashtu bo gvar ata b'hiyos b'bria chamisha gevuros. So therefore, it should spread the 5 gevuros should spread to her while she's still in. He said, Umitzad zeh hoya roi should be. She is pashtu ba kavar. It should already spread into her atach b'hiyos b'bria with her bia and bria chamisha gevuros asher yakansa b'chamisha spheres klalios shabah. So this should already happen. Mechesed ad hod, it should already happen while she's in bria. I'm not sure why he said that. Let's see what else. But here in bria, she's only a dot. Asher l'chein ein b'rak haroz gilui shlosha kavim belvad kenisker, where you see her only as asher l'chein ein b'rak haroz, the appearance of the gilui shlosha kavim belvad kenisker. All you could see is that there's three parts. Because she's only one dot, and therefore she's still a part of these 3 lines. So now we see that there's not really a spread of the 10 complete spheros yet, hasn't happened. So then therefore the only thing that spreads here is the 3 havayas. You have 3 havayas. So in other words, the spread, if there's any spread that comes into Bia, I guess he's talking about, is only from the 3 havayas that we actually see. Min hachamesha gevuras b'chagat shalah. So that's what's in her chagat. V'shtei havayas acheros ena mispashtas adayim. They don't spread. Now let's see what he means by this, because this is really going to get us. I know we're running out of time. V'chein ein hachamisha gevur shebedah shalom mispashtas b'chamisha sefiras b'chesed adihod. El rak shlosha mehem. Only 3 of them. So the 5 don't spread, only 3. And that's all that spreads into 3 lines. Shaar shtei hagavuros ena mishpashtos adayim still have not spread. So I guess we have to stop here. We have just a little bit more to do on this. But we have another minute or 2?
No.
Okay. So we have to stop this shear here. We still haven't gotten to. We have the idea of ku, which is the congealing of these the congealing of the 5 gevuros, and then we have the 5 gevuros, which is the number 26, which is just 1 havaya. They congeal into that, and then they go into the nuk and they become 5 again. But we have the concept of ku, which is 26, which is the gematria of Yud Kei Vav Kei, and we have the concept of the 5 times 26 is 130. But we're still meeting the 72. Where does that come from? That we have to see next time.